Welcome to the Jedi Ranger. I'm Gelbart555, and I'm continuing my series of Master Retro reviews with Season 3, Episode 20, Love and Marriage. So, the premise of this episode is that there's basically two plots going on. And one is that Hawkeye and Chapel are trying to help a Korean conscript join his wife who's pregnant. Radar helps out as well. And then also to prevent another GI, so an American soldier, from marrying a local call girl who, as we discover, has TB, tuberculosis, also poetically known as consumption at one time. So those are the two main plots. They don't interact with each other, but they do complement each other, as one is a plot of love and trying to, keep a marriage together, despite distance and war, and the other is trying to prevent a marriage that's only occurring because of money being exchanged hands. Now, I will say, because money is exchanging hands, I don't quite know why that the soldier, what was his name? Private Danny McLean. If money is exchanging hands, why would having TB matter unless somehow that would mean he doesn't get his money? I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going on there. There's probably some historical context that I am missing. But definitely not a great idea, to marry someone for money because you're going to get paid and they're going to be human trafficked. That's literally spelled out in the episode, just not using the words human trafficking. So yeah, I'm glad that Chopper and Hawkeye put the kibosh on it. But as for the other plot with the Korean soldier, so this is most likely the same Mr. Kwang, or Kwang's name pronunciation does change from scene to scene, that we've seen in a couple other episodes this season, every time played by a different actor. So is it actually the same character? Well, finally they decided to make this character name a real character, and we learned that he was conscripted, voluntold if you will, because he was just dragged by Korean army soldiers on a truck, and luckily he ended up at a medical unit where the American doctor saw that he had some skills and trained him up and got him in the medical unit instead of on the front lines. Very good for him. But now he's gotten word that his wife is expecting, or has been expecting for some time. I don't quite remember how the timeline was. But regardless of that, he wants to get home to her because he wants to see the birth of his child. Honestly, understandable. And he's not being allowed to get past. Now, Radar does basically get Henry to sign a pass, though it ends up being mistaken as a forgery, though it kind of is. But regardless of that, eventually Hawkeye talks Henry into basically having Hawkeye and Radar go to pick her up, Mrs. Crane, because I don't know what her name is. And along the way, the child is born, who is named, get this, Radar Benjamin Franklin Chopper John Henry Quang. That is a mouthful of a name, but Radar gets top billing, and that's when Mr. Quang refuses for giving him the pass to see his wife. Yeah, and then Henry asks, as a joke, Radar to sign Henry's name, and Radar rushes out of post-op, and it's just a fun little bit. But there's also a bit that Radar's not prepared for childbirth, because being on the bus when the baby is delivered and Radar passes out, it kind of makes sense. But at the same time, it makes sense, I should say, because of how we're getting more and more establishing Radar's naivete. But growing up on a farm, I'm sure he's seen animals being born before. Yes, human birth is slightly different than animal birth, but the concept of it shouldn't be foreign to him. I'm just saying there. But the naivete of Radar is starting to become more and more apparent as his character trait. And that does actually cause some behind-the-scenes problems later on, but we'll talk about that later on in my series of Master Retro reviews. So we might have about a year or two before we get there at this rate. But those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like and share. Also, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest content. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the force be with you always.